All right, everybody, we are here to debate Brandon on his 41st Thumbcat. Speaking of SK, awesome cast. Just the part where he goes up against Lucky. Well, Lucky's video, and yeah, we're here to debate him. I got my script already. It's gonna be interesting. I don't even know if we're gonna get through the entire thing. Just to show you, like, pause. Took a while to make this. I was originally gonna make an entire video and edit and all of that, like edit the whole thing, the whole 9 yards and all that. But chose to do this. This is what the script would have been like. Well, some of the stuff was removed because we're doing a debate. But yeah, Brandon. I've only ever made one video on him. Well, it's a short called Brandon the Bitch. You can check that out. I will probably put that in the description. Actually, I might as well put it in the description when I make this, because I am... I don't know if he knows I'm going to record this, but it's a one-on-one because that's the only way he will show up. And let's do this. Brandon the Bitch is ready. Thought you saw my post. Awesome. Can't type today. Where you reacted to Lucky's vid. I thought you saw my post. It was about your 40. I had an entire thing ready and everything. Making a video about it, but you know, you're in the debate. Oh, wait, you just switched so fast. I wonder if this will just make him like give up. I mean, if it does, I'm gonna be like, like, wow. I did what you asked. Did a debate between two people. Part where you reacted to Lucky's vid. You're ready. I don't know, he's like 100% ready. What's happening? Alright, here we are.
Hello.
Hello. Alright. So the first point was you said the Empire is not cocky.
Hmm?
Believe you said the Empire was not cocky?
The Empire's not cocky.
That's what you said.
I never said I didn't say that.
Oh, really? Well, what did you say?
What's the point you're trying to make here?
Well, remember, I'm going over your 41st awesome cast, and I remember you reacted to Lucky's video, and remember the Pacific part you said, the Empire's not cocky.
Oh. Well, I think that was because I was talking about when Lucky made the stupid point about the Empire and the Force Unleashed.
Alright, well, the Empire is very cocky. I'm just gonna lay that out.
It is not.
They are not cocky.
They're overconfident.
Or confident and cocky are very. Dude, like since I know you don't like Rogue One, how about when they blew up Alderaan?
That was a show of force. That was to demonstrate that the Death Star was working, and to strike fear in the rebels.
All right, how about Vader choking his own officers? Palpatine underestimated him monologuing about the Ewoks.
Vader choking his officer in Empire was because he was intolerant of failure, because they had come out of hyperspace too close to Hoth, which tripped the rebels' scanners, meaning the rebels were able to evacuate in time.
I mean, yeah, but that is still very like cocky, just to like choke your own author, your own men,
That's
and just
not
expect.
that's not being cocky. That's punishing failure.
I mean, you what is your idea of cocky?
Cocky is when you're using your abilities and you become completely confident that you can't be touched, that you're on top of the world, nothing can take you down, and you get reckless and you get stupid.
Like Palpatine was in the when he like Palpatine is like he literally thinks he's untouchable throughout the original trilogy.
He's not reckless and he's not stupid.
Well, I mean, he is cocky.
He's not cocky, he's overconfident.
Really? So you don't think like he comes across as very cocky when he's like monologuing and all this, and like how he's so cocky and like he's like, oh yeah, we're totally
No, he's
gonna make.
confident. Cocky and confident are not the same thing.
Well, how about when he's like, oh Vader, we're totally gonna get Luke to join the dark side. Like that is so cocky.
That's him being confident that he could break Luke. And technically he has total reason to think like this because he was able to do it with Anakin.
Yeah, and that can be considered cocky.
That's called overconfidence.
Cocky, but we'll move on to the next point because I have a few. I remember you said at one point, I believe you were saying Rogue One was boring.
Very boring, very forgettable. There's a reason why the only part of the movie anybody really remembers is primarily the Vader hallway scene, which was added at the last minute.
All right, well, boring. That's not a criticism. That's a you problem.
It is a criticism.
No, no, it is the very most laziest thing
It
to
is
do.
in fact a criticism. It's a criticism of any piece of entertainment when the audience just cannot be invested, and it causes people to just not be tuned in.
Well, you see, if it's boring to you, that's your attention span, not the show. Real critics explain why.
No, if the film is boring, it's primarily because the film itself fails to have the audience be engaged.
Boring is a subjective take.
No, it is not.
Really,
Boring can be as objective as it can be subjective.
boring is unfortunately very bad and subjective for a take. Typically, you'd say why
It is
something is
it
just bad in films.
well, it's a film can in fact be boring.
I mean, yeah, but that I could say that about anything. Anyone can say it's boring. Like that's just a
Yes,
cheap
but you
way to.
have to have the evidence to back it up.
I mean,
And boy, does Rogue One back it up in spades.
dude, I could say the same thing about like Empire Strikes Back, even though I don't think that, but I can say the same thing.
Yeah, but you'd be wrong.
Well, to you, I'd be wrong, but even though I don't, I agree. I like Empire.
Well,
This is just an example.
to anyone with common sense, you'd be wrong.
Well, well, I'm going through a perspective of someone else. I actually don't think that way, but like I can literally
Well,
say the
yeah, but
same thing.
again, your perspective would be wrong.
I,
Even if we're going with the idea that that's a perspective, you'd be wrong.
I mean,
Because that film keeps you engaged because there's a lot going on.
it keeps you engaged, but what about the people who aren't engaged? Other people have different tastes.
Yes, but the thing is, it kept the majority of people engaged.
I mean, yeah, but what about those who are not engaged? That's the point I'm trying to get at. This is why the boring criticism
Exception,
is not a
and they're
criticism.
the exception.
It's going to be expected that's literally the point. Boring like is not a criticism. It's just a subjective thing you
It
can just
can
say.
be, in fact, a criticism, but you need to have the evidence to back it up.
I mean, okay, your evidence to back up Rogue One is
The film literally just drags. None of the characters are actually interesting in the slightest, except maybe K2SO, but that's because he actually has a freaking personality.
interesting.
Again, what?
Interesting. Okay, this also leads into point 3. You say no one can remember the Rogue One characters.
Except for maybe Andor, and that was because of his show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but how did he get that show? Was it because he's actually memorable? Was it because a lot of these characters were memorable?
Actually, he got that show because Disney was throwing money at the wall. Because shoot, when the show was coming out, everybody was questioning why the hell is this guy getting a show? Like, even people who like Disney Star Wars were scratching their heads wondering why he got a show.
Disney Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, even
Yes,
then, it's
Disney Star Wars.
yeah, I know. I just always find that funny when anyone says that. But
No different from how people say 343 Halo.
yeah, like even then, it's just like okay, well, many people can remember the Rogue One characters and say something else is boring. Like this is literally just subjective. That's why point 2 literally
It
leads to
is
point 3.
objective. It is objective. I haven't seen a single person who remotely had any kind of interest in the Rogue One cast.
I don't know where you live.
Again, I see it all the time. It's always referencing the Vader hallway scene. It's never about any other part of that movie,
I know.
except deep faking Tarkin and Leia's face.
I mean, I know sequel trilogy haters who love Rogue One. I remember every character. Proof is everywhere, my guy.
There isn't.
There isn't. That's just cool. All right. Now, point 4. You like George Lucas, right?
I respect him as a creator. Yes.
All right. Do you worship him?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Right.
All
You
right.
were saying?
All right. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting to know. Because this is something you find interesting. George himself loved Rogue One.
We don't have any actual confirmation that he did.
Dude, hang on. The director, writer, and VFX supervisor literally all got private calls from George.
Sure, private calls with absolutely no evidence to back that up. Sure.
Really?
Look, if you think people are stupid, you've got another thing coming because Tony Gilroy tried to pull the exact same stunt and nobody believed him then either.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because George shaded other Disney stuff, like separate interviews, years apart, with no matching detail, no conspiracy. I mean, George loved Rogue One, and they literally admit years
George
later,
did
oh
not
yeah,
love Rogue One, buddy.
what?
We don't know what George thinks of Rogue One.
We do.
Not precisely.
Really? And if he did like Rogue One, like because we know he does, but like for you, like if he
We
said,
don't know he does.
all right, let's go
I'll
for your
move on from that point.
okay, because it's open. Okay, point 5. You said people are stupid or self-own or I know you say people are stupid. I know you say people are stupid.
If Disney thinks people are stupid, which they clearly do.
I mean, you don't think people are stupid?
People who like Disney Star Wars are stupid. I mean, yes.
Literally seconds after
But
saying
usually it's a case-by-case basis.
well, literally seconds after saying no one can remember Rogue One characters. By your own logic, that makes you stupid.
No, that just means I didn't give a crap about any of them.
Yeah, because you think it's boring, which is not really an argument. That just proves you just don't have a good
It
attention
is
span.
boring, and it is an argument. We're arguing about it, aren't we?
Yeah, but that's not a good argument. That's what I said. Now, point 6.
I mean, I don't see you arguing for how it can't be boring.
I mean, because that's not a criticism.
Well, if it's not a criticism, sure, you should be able to debunk it then.
I literally did. I pointed out that it's not
You
subjective.
did not debunk it. I'm sorry, man. You did not debunk it.
Yes, I did. I literally pointed out how it's
I said it's
subjective.
boring, and you have not. I said it was boring, and you have not been able to prove to me how Rogue One is not boring.
I literally pointed out how boring is
Therefore,
not a
it has not
criticism.
been debunked.
Boring is not a
Boring
criticism.
is, in fact, a
No,
criticism.
hang on.
But again, we've already discussed this point. Move on.
All right. Since you want to, okay. So point six. Brandon. So you chose to say George wasn't planning sequels and just handed it off because he was old.
George only wrote the outlines when he was in talks for selling to Disney. He came to realize that he had already told the story that he needed to tell in 6 films. He had absolutely no intention to make sequels.
I mean,
That is until the buyout.
you do know that long before he even made the prequels, he had planned to make sequels. They just changed.
Well, he never had anything actually definitive for sequel plans.
But he did
In
have an
fact, he
episode. But
told
he
the
did say he would have done an episode 6, 7, 8, and 9. He did say that.
Yeah, but that was like back when he was making the original trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but that was him being overzealous, ambitious, which George Lucas is in fact very ambitious.
All right. Next,
But
well, at
again,
least you.
he ended up changing his mind about that.
All right. Well, at least you admitted that he did have the full trilogy outlines. Now, for point seven, you said that the Vietnam War didn't inspire Star Wars.
I have never said that it did not inspire Star Wars. What I said was that that Star Wars is not commentary on the Vietnam War because the war was over by that point and the bad guys of the original trilogy were inspired by Nazis. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't remember my grandpa going to war and fighting Nazis in Vietnam.
Dude, the Empire is literally meant to be the Americans. That's literally the whole point. He literally admitted
No,
it.
they were inspired by the Nazis. That's something that has been confirmed time and time again.
I don't know.
They're inspired by Nazis, not America.
They were inspired by Nazis, not America. Like, okay, well, that's interesting because your entire logic is they weren't inspired by Vietnam because the war was ended. But when the first Star Wars movie was being made, World War II had already ended. So where's that logic, my guy?
I said inspired by the Nazis, not World War II.
I know, but the Nazis were around in World War II, not afterwards. So why
The
would
rebels were inspired by the Viet Cong, and the Empire was inspired by the Nazis.
Empire
My
was inspired by
argument
America?
has been that Star Wars was not commentary on the Vietnam War. Because why make commentary on a war that already ended?
Well, why not? I mean, don't you know how many films we get about World War II?
Yeah, but those aren't commentaries.
They still take inspiration from it, like.
And I'm not denying that Star Wars took inspiration.
All right, well, all right. So this point seven is just gonna be a little quickie, and then we can move on to point eight. You lied about grass growing on Andor, and now we can move on to
Huh? Whoa, hang on. What did I lie about?
grass growing on Andor.
I never said anything about grass.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that means point eight doesn't matter. It was All right, so
What's point 8?
let's see, point eight. Oh yeah, that wasn't a. Brandon. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, that was Brandon lies. There's no. Huh, I guess I mixed that wrong. But anyways, point nine. You completely missed the fact that Lucky was talking about the visual media only.
About what?
Remember what he said? Lucky literally said Andor and Rogue One are peak Star Wars in movies and TV, not ranking books or EU.
Yeah, well, I do believe I acknowledged that, but even then, that's a freaking lie. Because, of course, crap all over the prequels, why don't you?
I mean, the prequels weren't really that good.
Prequel hate. Actually, the prequels are good. Prequel hate in 2026 is outdated, my guy, and it's just plain embarrassing.
Look, The sequels and the prequels are ass. The original trilogy is the
No,
best.
the Disney trilogy is ass. The prequel trilogy is actually good. If you bother to watch it and pay attention, you'll realize this.
All right. So you like this comes across as like again that can literally be subjective. I can literally say, oh, I think that's bad because it's the prequels are boring.
Here's something you should do. After this, go watch Anomaly Inc.'s Revenge of the Prequels playlist. He makes some very good arguments debunking prequel criticisms. And it's him being as objective as possible.
All right, that's interesting. All right.
Go ahead and watch that. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Now I believe at one point you said you said that the New Rebellion wasn't known. The book New Rebellion wasn't known.
There's no book named New Rebellion.
Interesting. I seem to have never.
There's no. I don't think there's an EU novel named New Rebellion.
Well, I know it has been covered by many
Mm-mm.
big YouTubers, but okay.
I mean, unless you're trying to say I was referring to the New Republic,
New.
but even then, it's like the New Republic is well known.
Well. All right, but now for
But
point 11. I remember at one point you defended Charlie Kirk as not a racist.
I don't believe he has ever outright said he's a racist, nor has he ever given any information to show he is a
Ooh,
racist.
you have to literally say you're a racist for you to believe you're a racist? What kind of logic
Well,
is
he's
that?
never given. No, it's not that, but it's that he's never given any indication that he is a racist.
He called the Civil Rights Act of 1964 a huge mistake and said it created an anti-white weapon or permanent bigotry.
I'd have to look into that because I don't trust you guys as far as I can throw you.
I don't even think you can throw me that at all.
Don't underestimate me, man.
Said prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people.
Look, man, I'm not too knowledgeable on the world of wider politics.
All right, well.
So again, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to do a Kinoflex and I'm going to do my research.
Flex, dude, that guy is ass. But
I don't know. He seems to kick the Birdman's ass pretty well.
no, he did not. That guy's a fucking loser.
Well, that's your opinion then.
Dude, I could say that with the boring stuff. But finally, the last point. You lied about Lucky coping when making fun of Star Wars theory.
Lucky coping making fun of Star Wars. Context for that, please. It's been a bit.
Really? Because weren't you simping over Star Wars theory in 42 awesomecast?
No, I wasn't actually. I have never simped for theory.
Well, I mean, at least that's one good thing. But oh, that's at least one.
Hell no.
All right. Well, we already established that you have a unique taste, but the final last thing is something I found out when I heard about what with my friend Anthony responded to your 41st awesome cast. You said there's no evidence for Arachnid to be a pedophile.
I mean, if there was, why the hell would nobody go to the police then?
You do know that pedophile means attracted to children. Like this whole police thing, it's like in court you can argue it's subjective art. Doesn't mean it's not wrong.
But again, if he's actually attracted to children, why would the police not be involved? Pedophilia is a crime.
He is so far it's cartoon children, but that's still not good.
Well, I'd have to talk to him about it.
He is
And
a liar.
frankly, he has given no indication for me to see him as an untrustworthy individual.
You know he literally he lied to Comic Legend and SK for over a year just to hang out with them when they confronted him on his stance about it, and he just went like, "Oh yeah, I don't stand by that anymore."
I don't trust SK or anybody associated with him.
They have a full recording on it.
I don't trust anything that comes from them.
Well, they have a full recording where he literally says that.
What did he lie about?
He literally lied when he went like, "Okay, I understand what you guys think. I agree that take is stupid." He literally admitted he lied. He literally said that just to hang out with them.
Or maybe he was being peer pressured. I don't know. I would talk to him about it. I
Well,
don't I want to get both sides of the story before I ever make a decision. And even then, Arachnid Youth is a good buddy of mine.
really,
He
what?
hasn't done anything explicitly illegal as far as I am aware.
I mean, you do know that like, what do you think about someone who jerks off to a cartoon child? Just to get your perspective on it.
Well, for one, it depends because if I recall, he said that they're aged up.
He's lying about that. He literally made nude art of Spider Teen fucking into the Spider Verse Gwen.
I bel Yeah, but he said it's aged up. And on top of that, she's 19,
She's
which is
actually
basically within the realm of being a full-grown adult.
she's about 15 or 16 in into the Spider-Verse in that. And also you cannot that's not how it works. If you wish to do an aged up version, you would have just went with the comics. You could have just went with a way older version. Why choose the version that's like so young and it looks exactly like the young version? That like there's no arguing
I
around
don't
that.
know. Look, I'm not sure. Again, I would have to talk to him about it.
Okay, well that's very concerning on that part, but I mean, I think I've got some good stuff. I mean, you think boring's a criticism? That's all I need to say.
It can be.
It again, that can literally be going against you. I can literally say all the stuff you like is boring.
Yeah, but I know that's you being spiteful.
No, I don't actually think that. That's an example about how that works. I can really say the same thing. It's not a criticism. It doesn't explain why. It just, oh, it's boring because I
Okay,
thought it was
yeah, but if
forgettable.
but can you explain why it's boring?
Can you explain why Rogue One's boring?
Yes, I believe I have done so already.
Because you can't remember the characters. That's subjective. Obviously, like you can, but other people can.
Well, I can hardly remember anything that happens in that
Yeah,
movie.
and that's subjective. That could literally just be a you
That's
problem.
not even me being subjective.
That could literally just be a you problem, my guy.
That could be or maybe it's a you problem that you can't accept that movie. It's ass.
Maybe I could say the same thing about you with the stuff you like. Like that's the entire point.
And yet somehow Rogue One is still a really forgettable movie.
To you,
Dark Forces is better
you also can't accept the fact that George Lucas actually liked it. Like he literally
because
did.
there's no actual evidence, and Disney Star Wars people will do whatever it takes to try and prop up their crap.
Then why didn't George Lucas call it out when they literally said they got a call from him?
George Lucas doesn't really call people out.
I mean, that's kind of interesting.
Not only that, there's some red tape stuff because chances are he got in trouble for that white slavers comment he made.
I mean, still, but it would be nice to call out the fact if someone's trying to lie about you, going like,
George doesn't really have a history of doing that.
I mean, yeah, but that's just a point of like, if that was fake, why I need like go like, hey, I never said that. They also said it years apart, mind you, years apart, not like immediately after Rogue One. Like, if it was fake,
It's
then
the
why not?
same way how It's the same way how just the other day one of the puppeteers for BB-8 said that the sequels will be liked in a few years. That's been something a lot of people have been saying years apart.
So you're saying it's a conspiracy theory?
I'm saying it's an attempt at a narrative being pushed by Disney to get people to like their stuff.
I mean, that sounds like conspiracy cope to me, if I've ever heard it.
It's suspicious as what?
That's
Because
literally
Disney
conspiracy.
This is the same company that stabbed George Lucas in the back. They're not exactly giving off trust us vibes.
Well, I don't believe them. I
Not
believe
that
the director, writer, and VFX supervisor.
the people that are being paid by said company that you don't trust.
I mean, okay, just because they're being paid doesn't mean they work.
Contradictory, no?
Just because they're paid by the company doesn't mean that they act just like the company. That's not how it works.
If they ever want to have a future working for one of the most successful film companies of all time, then yeah, you kiss ass and lick corporate boot.
You shock your mother with that mouth?
Well, yes, I do.
Okay, well, I think I've got all I need from you today. I may or may not respond to anything else if you have a DC take I hate. Oh, yeah, actually that brings me to one last thing. You said Barbara Gordon was overrated.
That is actually a personal opinion on my part, because frankly, there's just a lot of versions of Barbara I don't personally care for,
I mean,
or I just downright find annoying.
you can literally say that about any character. Anyone can find a character annoying.
Okay, yeah, but I literally just said it's a personal opinion of mine.
I know, but that doesn't mean it can't be debunked.
I mean, I just said it because I think she's overrated. That's fine.
Okay, well,
And not everything needs to be debunked. I'm not trying to push this as a fact. I'm just saying I just said it as a personal opinion.
all right, well, that's we got that. Anyways, I think I've
I
got
could have
all I need. I hope we can do this again one day. Anyways, have a good day.
hang on real quick. Are you going to put this with your response to me in the response to my 41 episode 41, or
Actually, I wasn't doing. I'm not gonna do that because I was recording this.
okay, yeah, so I was going to say you may want to cut the part out with arachnid youth, because that has nothing to do with the actual video itself.
I mean, this was primarily just a few other things, just for clarification. That was with
Well,
the
that's fine, and I'm glad that at least, unlike Lucky and that other guy, you didn't try to drag me into a 7v1.
was. But yeah. Anyways, have a good day.
Right.
Right. Like, what the fuck, man? That was absolutely amazing. But yeah, the arachnid youth stuff. Just clarification.